right now MBA has become a STEM course, so you get like 3 year work
Hmm.
permit. I definitely had that question by the visa officer that why did I choose a business degree after completing 2 degrees in pharmaceutical sciences.
What's the total cost in terms of tuition fees? And then what is the cost of living?
And everybody said one thing, that you are not getting any loans without a cosign. So they approved me $58,000.
Oh, wow. Or like, does everybody end up getting an on campus job? Most international students will end up getting some form of on campus jobs.
Yes.
Thank you, Zubi, for doing this, and welcome to the MPOWER Show. My name is Yudi, and I have been helping international students through my YouTube channel and social media. But I'm excited to learn from your story and your journey from Bangladesh to United States and everything that you have accomplished so far, and hopefully help other aspiring international students as well. But before we get started, let's do a quick intro. Who are you? When did you come to United States? What did you study? And what are you doing right now?
Thank you so much for having me in your show, and it's like a great opportunity for me for being able to like share my journey. And like I've seen a lot of your podcasts, and then it has been amazing. You're helping a lot of students for pursuing their career, their life. So my name is Zubair, but everybody calls me Zubi here, and that's
Mm.
easier for everybody to like pronounce my name.
Great. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I came here in spring 2022, which was January 2022, to pursue my MBA degree, Master's in Business Administration from Illinois State University here at Normal Bloomington. It's a twin city.
Mm.
Um, so I completed my degree last year, which was May 2024, and then waited for a long time to get like a full-time job, but I was lucky enough to get hired by Illinois State University themselves, and I work as their award manager, which is my position, and the title is contract and it's the grant and contract associate position. So basically, what I do is I kind of handle and manage their federal and state funds that the university gets for research. So
Mm.
that's pretty much what I have been doing, and it's been 9 months and like almost 10 months.
Yeah, amazing. Let's go back. Before coming to United States, did you have any work experience?
I did. So I worked as a team leader for 6.5 years back in Bangladesh. So I'm
Mm.
from Dhaka, the capital city. Before that, I mean, I did a bachelor's in pharmaceutical sciences and a master's in pharmacology. So that was completely different from what I was doing, which was the necessity for me to like pursue the MBA degree.
Amazing. Was US the only choice, or did you have like other countries in options? And if so, why US?
Okay, so I did have like other countries in my option study wise. For example, like I have always considered UK as an option, but the reason that I didn't pursue with UK is that definitely back then or like still now, the degrees of, the postgraduate degrees in the United Kingdom is like a 1 year one, and I don't think like any other country was an option for me. I never thought about it, thought
Mm.
about them. Um, the reason that I chose USA was because definitely their education qualifications and the quality, the quality of life, the experience are like amazing. That's what I have heard from like my friends and family who lives here, and then the practical experience that you get, and then the the core structures that they have are completely different, because if it is a 1 year degree versus a 2 year degree, you definitely get more courses in a 2 year degree rather than you have in 1 year. So that was one of the reason, and then definitely back then it was work experience thing as well. So like right now, MBA has become a STEM course, so you get like 3 year work
Mm,
permit. So definitely everything worked. But so that was one of the reasons. I mean, I would say the biggest reason that I chose the US.
yeah, gotcha. And why MBA and why not maybe like an MEM or MIS or any of those degrees? Was like
Right.
business the thing that you really were interested? And did you do specialization in MBA or was it just like general MBA?
Okay, so what I did was, as I said, I did a bachelor's and master's in pharmaceutical sciences and pharmacology, respectively. And then I never worked in the pharmaceutical industry.
Hmm.
Uh, I have always worked in the corporate sector and led teams without any prior academic knowledge. Whatever I had was like practical experience. So I needed like I enjoyed working in the corporate sector, and then that's what I was like 100% determined that I'm going to like pursue my career in the professional field in the corporate sector, and for that it was very necessary to have like a business degree. And now the time when I decided to do my MBA, I was like not very young in terms of like start education all over again, by which I mean like I was not like very ready to take everything all afresh. So I thought of like going with the traditional MBA. And then another reason for me to just go with the traditional MBA was that I did not have a background on business.
Hmm.
So wherever I would have applied, they would have like rejected me, because that's what happened with the United Kingdom. Because I did apply to some of the universities back there for MBA degrees, and then they like rejected my application, because
Hmm.
they would only consider somebody with a bachelor's in business or any sort of like business
Hmm.
degrees. So that was one of the reasons that I didn't like want to like specialize on like either finance or like project management or accounting or anything else, because I was like, what if I get rejected? What if like even if I get accepted, what if
Hmm.
I am not being able to like pursue that?
Yeah.
So that was the reason that I chose the normal traditional MBA, because I was
Hmm.
like, they will definitely have like specialization after I am there or like after I finish. So
Gotcha. Okay. And why Illinois State? Like, was that the only university like you were targeting, or did you have multiple options? And if so, why Illinois State? Yeah.
I do remember, it's been like 4 years. So I have like literally forgot to how many universities I did apply, but Illinois State University was not the only choice that I had.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
other, multiple universities, but I was like chasing for state universities, because back,
Hmm.
you know, it's always an easy catch if you're accepted in a public university or state university. The visa acceptance rate is good, and then you could like make a good SOP, and then the visa officer would be able to like understand that. um, I would say the main reason that I chose Illinois State University was their Into program. So the Into is like a graduate pathway program that they used to have back then. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure they do not have that program anymore for
Hmm.
whatever reasons. But basically, what the Into program did was that if you are from a different background and you want to pursue a different degree than whatever you had before, the Into program basically allowed you to be here and pursue that. So I was given the opportunity to get a direct admission to the MBA program via the Into program, the pathway program. So what I had to do is like the first semester I had to do two basic courses, and then I had to do six online courses if I am not wrong. But the six online courses were not in the first semester. It was like the first year that I had to just take it, and they were like self study ones. So that was the main reason, because I definitely had that question by the visa officer, that why did I
Mm,
choose business degree after completing 2 degrees in pharmaceutical sciences.
mm,
And it was easy for me to explain my case here, because I was like going through the Into program, which is the graduate pathway program, and that elaborates everything. I mean, that gives detailed explanation of why they have chosen me, why they have given me the admission. So that
mm.
was the main reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, maybe we double down on, like, what was your visa experience like?
Oh, the visa experience was pretty easier, pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay.
It
How
was.
long was it?
I was very kind of stressed out, because
Hmm.
it was the U.S. embassy visa,
Yeah.
um, but it was early morning one, and I came during the pandemic, so it was still COVID period. We used to wear like mask everywhere. Um, so my experience was pretty easier, because there were a lot of students though, and there were like around 2 visa officers who were taking interviews, and um, I clearly remember the person who was just in front of me got his visa denied.
Mm, mm,
And you could really hear them. I mean, I could literally hear what the visa officer was asking that guy, because it was loud. They were like on the
I,
microphone,
yeah.
and I couldn't hear what they answer, but I could definitely hear to what he was asking. And when he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't approve your visa," that was pretty loud.
Mhm.
And then I heard that, and that made me super nervous, because I was like, I know that it's me who's going. So it was like split of seconds, but that worked in my head that, oh, I am going now. So it might not be the day for me.
Mm,
But I went there. The first question, the visa officer asked me 3 questions. So the first one was, where am I going and what am I going to do? So I told him. So he was not looking at me. By the way, the visa
mm,
officer was like that.
mm.
I like walked in and greeted him. He greeted me back, but his head was down. He was like reading my application
Like
form.
20. Yeah.
So yeah, I introduced myself, told him my name, where am I going, ISU. The moment I said that I'm going to pursue my master's in business administration, he was like, "Huh? But you did like bachelor's and master's in pharmaceutical sciences." So immediately he took his head off, and then he was like, "Why are you doing that?" And as I said before, that was the explanation I gave him. And then, as by that time, I had a 6.5 years of professional experience being a team leader. I explained him why it was necessary for me to like pursue the MBA degree, to which he was satisfied. Like he was like pretty satisfied about that. And
Mm,
then the second question that he asked me was, I guess, who's financing? And then definitely had to say my family. And then the good thing was that it was the COVID period and I was still working. And so I had my salary also being, in my bank
mm.
account. So that did contribute to it. But the major contribution was family. So I said that. So he was satisfied with that too. And the third question that he asked me is that, what do I want to do after I complete my education? And to which I guess I answered that, I'm going to open up my own company if I don't get a job. Like, I was very honest that, I told, he didn't ask me this question, but I did tell him that after I finish my degree, I would definitely try to get a
Mm,
job there, because I would try to gain as much as practical experience as possible. because the practical experience that I would get anywhere else would not make any sense. So that is something that I would definitely try to do. If not, I mean, I will see how that works out. But my ultimate goal is to do something on my own, being an entrepreneur or whatever. And that was basically a pretty honest answer. And
Mm,
then he was like, "Oh, I approve your visa.
mm,
Congratulations." And that's
mm.
and then he didn't return my passport, and I was like, I was like, I was mumbling, and he was like, "I am approving your visa," and I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I could not believe, and he was like, "You can leave," and then I left, and I was like, I kept on looking back. I was like, he's gonna call me and hand over my visa. Oh, sorry, my
Mm,
passport, because it was my first interview, and I
mm.
had heard so many like negative things by other visa experiences. But yeah, and after that, after 2 days, I got my passport, and within 2 weeks, I was here.
Nice. Love it. What's the total cost in terms of tuition fees? And then what is the cost of living as well? So if we can separate it out, that'll
Well,
be very helpful. Yeah.
uh, I believe so. So it's like 4 semesters for MBA
Hmm.
degree,
Hmm.
and each semester was $9,000. I guess that's a little different now. It might be a little more, but not more than 10,000. So when I did it, it was like exactly $3,000 per course.
Mm, per
So,
credit.
per credit. Per credit, yeah. So no, $3,000 per course, so it's like $1,000 per credit. So I
Oh, gotcha,
nine
gotcha.
credits each semester, so it was $9,000.
Okay, so 36,000 was tuition fees for 2 years MBA program.
Oh, 36, yeah, $36,000.
Hmm.
Uh,
Got it.
yeah, right. $36,000 was supposed to be the tuition fees, and the living cost. Let's say that was something that they calculate. It was in my I-20.
Yeah, like what was the rough like rent, grocery, living expenses? Like, would you say 800 to $1,000?
It was around, I would say, $1,200 per month.
Okay.
So that was the additional one that it was there. So the total cost of the MBA degree was 36,000
Mm.
plus $1,200 like food, uh, housing,
Housing. Yeah.
miscellaneous books, and everything was around $1,200 or more, a little more, but not less
Mm.
than that. Uh,
Mm.
and that's basically what was in the I-20. But I literally didn't pay that much.
Why do you say that? Like because you got scholarship or gotcha. Okay. We'll get to the scholarship part. So
Right.
for this, did you take loan or how did you
Oh,
pay?
yeah.
Okay.
But um, not completely loan, not completely scholarship.
I mean, let's start with the loan. Like where did you get the loan from?
So I took my loan from MPOWER Finance,
Okay.
and
How?
initially I took. Okay, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I was just asking how was the experience with them?
It was amazing. It was
Mm.
like something that I was not expecting, just like my visa.
Mm.
Because when I was here, there were like a lot of international students coming here, and everybody had this finance thing in their head, that how do we pay our tuitions, how do we pay our living cost and everything. And we do get jobs here for 20 hours, but first of all, getting that 20 hours is not always like a specific thing. We You might just get 16 hours, or 15 hours, and the rest is like just not there. uh, but when we were talking about loans back then, the major thing that came in our head was like a co-signer. And
Mm.
then either you need a co-signer, or you need to like provide a lot of documents, or you need to get restrictions with something. So that gets really very difficult. And, being uh, from those other countries, like smaller countries, and you're coming here taking loans, I personally had no idea of what I was doing and wanted to do. And everybody said one thing, that you are not getting any loans without a cosigner. You
Mm.
being a student on F1 visa, here getting a loan for whatever reason, that requires you to have a cosigner. And if you
Mm.
don't have a cosigner, you're not getting any loans. And that was like, oh, what do I do now? Because, getting everything does not fulfills my overall, costs. But luckily, what I was doing was like I searched Illinois State University's financial aid page. So once you go to the website, it takes you to different pages. And then I went to the loan page. And then the first thing that comes here is like FAFSA. And we're not eligible to get FAFSA. FAFSA is like just for the American nationals. So I was like, fine. And then there was private loan sections. So one was FAFSA and one was like the private loan. And when I clicked the private loan, there were four, I guess. And the first one was Empower Finance. And
Mm.
the very good thing about Empower Finance is like they didn't require a co-signer, but the other three did require co-signers. And
Mm.
then the other three was like immediately like,
Out.
oh, they're out of the list. And Empower was the only list because that literally allowed me to go inside and file for the or at least
Apply for the loan. Yeah.
application. So I opened it, gave all the information. It was pretty quick and easy. It just asked you about your name, your university, university ID number, your social security number, your university contact address, and what they initially needed was like how many semesters I would need to complete my degree. How much would the overall amount would be. So they basically require your I-20 to be uploaded. So that was easy. I didn't have to like do anything extra. I just like uploaded my I-20, my passport, my visa, my SSN number, and pretty much that's it. I mean, initially they did not ask me about how much money I would need. It was like a assessment that they would have run to just like probably, let's say, to see that I
If you
was
are eligible or not. Yeah.
eligible or not, or am I a real person or not.
Mm.
So I guess within like a week, I heard back from them, which said I'm pre-qualified, so I can go ahead and like file my application. I can like ask for whatever amount, and then I basically needed the money for my uh, internship course. So I basically did internship the second, like, the first summer that I was
Mm.
here.
Mm.
Um, and then, but for that, I needed internship is a course, and that's 3 credit. And that was like, again, like $3,000, which I needed to pay. But I did not have that money initially. And then
Mm.
I was like, what do I do? And $3,000, and it was like for internship. I mean, the reason that I could not manage that money was that it was immediate. The internship was like not a planned thing. I was not even sure if I would get the internship offer or not. So that was not anything. But I was applying for internships, and one of these internship companies said yes. So when they said yes, I'm like, oh, I can go ahead and take this course now, which was not planned. And then I was like, shit, I don't have money for this.
Mm.
So what do I do? Then immediately, I was like looking for loans because I was like, let's get down with the internship first, and then can think about whatever happens
Mm.
later. And the experience for me at that particular moment was very easy because I went ahead, took the course, like register for the course, and I do remember that I also already started on the internship very quickly, and but and I was like contacting Empower people, So we were in the communication when I started the internship, because I was like, if you guys are not giving me this money, then I have no idea how I'm going to finish my internship,
Mhm.
because this does not, I mean, the course needs to be registered. And if I do not get this money, I mean, they didn't ask me. It was just something that I told them that, uh, if this loan does not get accepted, then what happens is like, one, I lose the internship. Second, the course is gone. Third, my entire summer is wasted.
Mm.
I cannot take any other course. I cannot do anything else. I cannot go anywhere, move anywhere, get a job, whatever. It's like gone for me. So I didn't even have to tell anything to Empower. They just like ran that. And the good thing was like, I applied for only one course and then around that $3,000. But so they approved me $58,000,
Oh, wow. Okay.
which I definitely didn't need. But the fact that I was approved for that amount
Mm.
was a big relief for me.
Yeah, like if you need, you can. Mm.
I still had three more semesters
Mm.
to go. And then I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this money. But
Mm.
once I got approved, I was like, okay, I can chill, because I know whatever happens, I can still go ahead and apply for the rest of the loans and, keep on going. And that's exactly what happened. And
Mm.
so I took loans from them two times. So that one was during my internship, and the other one was absolutely on my last semester, which was last year. And
Mm.
again, it was a last moment thing when I was like really struggling with everything, because I was like applying for OPT. I had to apply for my graduation, and I had pending tuitions. And I was like, I don't know, I am stressing so much on this, and I don't know how everything will end. And then I was like, why am I stressing over it? Because I still have, so I took 3,000, so I still had 55,000 left. And I was like, why don't I go ahead and like take that loan? And that process was like, I mean, I can't even remember anything because it was so easy. I
Fast.
mean,
Okay.
second step, because I
Yeah.
was already approved. What I had to do is like send them an email saying, I want to take more money. How do I do it? And I guess they sent me a form which I filled up, and within 5 days the money was in. With my tuition was cleared. Like they
Nice.
sent me money to Illinois State University, and my balance said zero. So
Mm.
it was so quick, so easy that, see, I don't even remember what actually happened.
Mm. Would you recommend like other incoming Bangladeshi student to like look into Empower if they need education
Yes.
loan?
Yes. So
Mm.
I have been literally ever since like I took my first loan, I have been telling all my friends, not only like my Bangladeshi friends, but from whoever comes from like India, Pakistan, or other Asian countries,
Yeah.
that if you are studying at Illinois State University, it's like affiliated with them. So it's
Mm.
nothing that I am doing extra. I'm like working for MPOWER. No, my major concern was to help my fellow batchmates or
Yeah.
classmates or friends to go ahead and complete their degree, because that's the major issue here. I mean, that is the reason that everything gets so messed up.
Yeah.
If you're not completing your degree, or if you're like running, like lacking behind, running behind with anything. And I was like, don't worry, there would be good times, but
Mm.
right at this moment, the only thing that bothers us is the tuitions. And if we are struggling, we should just go ahead and take that loan first. Let's finish our degrees, and then better things would fall in
Mm.
our plate.
Mm.
So I have been like recommending everybody, whoever kind of like needs financial help, and I
Mm.
still do that. And I like, honestly speaking, I did recommend my ex roommate about Empower
Mhm.
last day. So he
Mm.
told me he had no idea about this one, that I'm going to like be on the podcast with you. But he was like, I don't know what to do. I still have like 2 semesters left, and there would be like a lot of balances. And I was like, don't worry, you can go ahead and take loan, and then whatever happens happens later, but just right at this moment, think about finishing your degree first, and then we can like go forward after that.
Love
Yeah.
it. I know you mentioned about scholarships as well. Did you get scholarship, and if yes, how did you get it?
Okay. So the first thing that was in my head when I came here was like, I won't be able to like, fund all these money because $36,000 alone was the tuition fees, and that's not everything. That's kind of like just not even half of what you need.
Mm,
Uh, so it's like living, food, books, and the courses which I had no idea about. I was like, oh, I'm done paying for the courses, and I would like go ahead and do classes. No, it didn't end there. There were like online platforms that we had to buy. We had to buy online books and online, like, you need to take a test and you need to pay for, that software that wherever you are going and like giving that test.
mm,
So all these expenses were a lot. Like even printing costed us money. It wasn't free. Um, so all of these thing was like something that I know from before, and I was like, I will have to find ways to see that how I can get scholarships. And the first thing that you get is like, the graduate assistantship, which was
mhm,
a no-no for me because, as I said, I didn't have like a prior background on business, and I was
mhm,
doing business administration. So they would not hire a graduate assistant who has like no academic background on business. So that was a no for me. And I was doing on campus job, but that was not enough to like fulfill, my basic requirements and needs. So what I did was like, I went to the international department and started working with them, saying, explaining them my situation, my story, my everything, and then said, I could be of any help. Please let me know. And so basically, what I did was by last 2 semesters, so I was here for like 2 years. So it was like 4 semesters, but count the summer ones as well. So for the last 2 semesters, I got an international scholarships, which Illinois State University gives to, I guess, only one or two international students per semester. And
mm,
I was lucky enough to get $5,000 for consecutive 2 semesters.
mm,
So that drastically helped me pay 60 to 65% of my tuitions. Because if it was $9,000, which I needed to pay, $5,000 was like, paid by university as scholarship. So I paid the rest $4,000. Again, that was not enough because I had to like take Empower alone. I'm not discouraging anybody, but I had other, expenses as well. So
mhm,
but my journey was very smooth because there were a scholarship and there were loans. And the last $5,000 that I got, I was not expecting that, and I was completely relying on Empower. But luckily, I got the scholarship. But I still had to take the loan, and I'm glad that I took that. And other thing is like the first year I was here. And was doing my MBA program. So Illinois State University gives an award every year to one or two student, and it's not for international student. It's basically from the department, and the award is called the Outstanding MBA Student of the Year award. And luckily, I was a recipient of the
Oh,
Outstanding
nice.
MBA Student of the Year award for the 2022 and 2023 school year. And that came with $1,000 prize money,
Mm,
uh, which they didn't give it to me, but they cut it down from they like deducted it from my
ah,
tuition.
yeah, yeah.
So from that award, I got $1,000 as like the prize money or the award money. And my department gave me another $1,000 financial aid because of that award. So I get
Mm,
$2,000
mm.
for that.
Amazing. Yeah.
So The first year I got that $2,000 as scholarship, and the final year I got $10,000 as scholarship. So $12,000 was what I got from Illinois
Oh,
State University, and kind of like the rest of the money I took from Empower. And then so if I divide my entire um tuitions into three parts. So one part was like paid by Illinois State University scholarship. One was paid by Empower, and the rest, one third, is what I kind of like earned myself and like help pay myself.
yeah. Amazing. What about on-campus job? Are there enough on-campus job on in Illinois State University, or like does everybody end up getting an on-campus job?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. And
The
what?
reason I'm very confidently saying yes is because the whole time I was here, I worked as a student hiring manager.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I was hiring students, and then by that I meant I was responsible for hiring any student who was working for the university dining services.
Okay.
So, which is basically the biggest departments in all the universities, the dining departments, and then
Mhm.
they do not need or require any prior experience. So anybody can come and like start working with them, and they try to manage and maintain the 20-hour goal. So they make sure that everybody has a job, everybody's trying to like work the preferred hours that they want to work
So
and get.
you're saying basically all the most international students will end up getting some form of on-campus jobs.
Yes. So I would
What's
say, yeah, at
mm,
least 10 hours is something that is 100% confirmed. And
nice?
then, because it depends on shifts and depends on, the number of incoming students that they have. Because if they have like a lot of students coming here, not like international, but, overall, like
Mm.
the local students plus the international students, they need to have that vacancies for them. So they make sure that they are at least giving 10 hours to everybody.
Yeah.
And then if there are sub shifts which you could pick up, and then that adds more hours to you. If somebody is leaving, if somebody is like going to any other department, so you can pick up their shifts, which makes you have like 10 hours, 10 plus 10, 20 hours. Or you're like picking up sub shifts, or somebody's like not present today, and you go ahead and do their shift. So yeah, that way you can have jobs. And then other jobs are also there. Like there are a lot of like tech jobs, like student jobs, but in the tech department, or
Mm.
in the university president's department, or the admin department. They're like hiring students on a regular basis.
Mm.
They are pretty much not very often, on like not very regular, but not that they're not there. They're also
Mm.
there. So
And what's the typical pay range on campus jobs?
when I started, it was $12 per hour.
Hmm.
Now it's $16 per hour.
Oh, nice. Okay, great.
So 16 is
Great.
what we're getting.
So when you landed, was there any culture shocks that you felt like, oh my gosh, like I did not expect this at all, or like these are the things that I learned and I wish I knew, things like that?
Culturally, the we come from a background where we are very cordial. Like people here are very cordial, definitely, but the way we are, like, we don't judge that much. We go ahead and like pretty much talk and ask to everybody.
Mm.
Here there was like, that was a cultural shock that I had, that why are, like, they're talking, they're behaving nice, they're like smiling with, like, smiling to each other, they're very nice to each other. But it felt like there is like not a direct heart to heart connection. Everything is like, just you're doing it for the sake of doing it. uh,
Mm.
but in our countries, what we do is like we feel that connection, which I didn't feel here. And that was a cultural shock. And the fact that nobody cares about whether you have eaten or not, whether you have like food at home or not, or they would ask you how you are doing, and that's it. But the way we kind of like ask, did you have lunch? And we say, yeah, what did you have lunch? Like, what did you have for lunch? So that kind of the thing was a culture shock to me.
Mm.
And then definitely we eat by hands and they don't. That was another thing that I initially like struggled a little bit because I was like putting my hands into everything and I was like, no, wait, I just cannot do that. So pretty much these were the ones, but I had have like a lot because when I said like I worked with European people and British people before I came here, so a lot of those cultures were already taken care of, and I did a lot of my research before I came here that how I should talk, how I should like behave with people, what I should do and what I should not. So
Mm.
that literally helped me, have my journey smoother.
Love it. Now that you have finished the student journey and now you're working, what are some of the tips from a job hunting perspective? Like, okay, if I were to go back in time, these are the things I would do to get jobs in United States. I know the job market is brutal, but like, what would you do?
So first of all, I didn't know that, which has made me like super frustrating right now. When I think about that, is that I had a horrible resume. It
Mm.
was horrible. So if I could go back a year before, I would make a really nice resume, which is like not adding anything fake, just whatever I have, but being very concise and precise about the previous roles that I had, whatever I did here, all the experiences and all the stuffs that I did. I would recommend and advise all the international students that connect yourself with the campus community, connect yourself with the uh, RSOs, the registered student organizations, because that's how you gain a lot of experiences. Because what I believed or what I have experienced during my job interviews is that they would ask you about your experiences and
Mm.
about the extra curriculum activities that you were a part of here. And whatever we did back in our countries really does not count. So, but whatever you do here really, really counts. So the more and more a student can participate in campus activities or whatever experience they could gather, that that basically counts because you can first of all add that in your resume, and then second, when you're actually doing it, you gain a lot of personal experience which will
Mm.
help you answer questions in interviews because they can ask you random questions
Mm.
which you're not really prepared. But if you have at least 20% of experience, such experience, you can go ahead and say that 20%, and that is basically what they are looking for.
Mm.
So when I say that, what I could do if I could go back is that engage myself more so that I can add it up more to my resume, and then personal experience and all. So, it's more easier for me to just be fluent about it and be honest about it. That's one thing. I have had a very hard time getting this job because I graduated in May, and then it took me what, like, so since from May to November,
Mm.
I was just like applying for jobs, giving interviews, and getting rejected, 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 rejected.
Mm.
Uh, so getting a proper, a dream job took me like around 7 to 8 months.
Mm.
So as I said, like the more experience you have, don't worry about that nobody's giving me a job here, and that's why I do not have an experience. No, even being a part of the campus community, being a part of your own student organization or other organization, or just like helping anything that is on campus, really helps as an experience, and that counts as an experience. So that is something that I would like advise to everybody. And then I that's what I think that I could have done that better.
Amazing. This has been great to learn your entire journey from Bangladesh to Illinois State University to now working.
Right.
If let's say if there are aspiring international students like from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, they are watching. What are some of the tips, final advice you would give them if they are planning to study in United States?
Okay, so the first thing I would say, because right now I work with the university and then I work with the fundings, and I know that how difficult it has become to like
Mm.
actually get along, get the work done. I work with research because I handle the grants that comes for research.
Mm.
So everything is kind of, I would not say it's hard. It's basically balanced, and it's basically something where everything makes sense from the point of view that whatever you are doing should be appropriate. So I would say the advice that I want to give everybody is that have like a proper demonstration of what you are trying to do. Focus more on research if possible, because that's a easier way
Mm.
to have grant accepted. So you're, the kind of like the stress that we go through for uh, getting accepted in the university, and then getting our visas approved, and then coming here, and then working with the university. Everything gets way more smoother if you are a part of research, because in that way everything gets easier for you. So that's one thing. If that is not an option, just be honest with whatever you want to like study, and have your goal set up that after studying the degree, I would work on this field or this sector, so that everything is aligned. And it might seems a little like tricky, but it isn't. It's very easy. It's just like following one path, like the thread of a chain, like one after the other, not going somewhere else. So having that chain is much more easier, because in that way we can you can connect the dots and make a link that I was here for pursuing this degree, and then while I was a student, I worked with this one, so I have practical experience, and then I am applying for such jobs, so that I can like enhance my expertise on it. So everything makes sense, everything is on a line, and then it's pretty much easier to land up getting your dream jobs or whatever.
Mm.
And another advice that I kind of give to everybody here, that don't chase for, or don't go for something way too out of the hand, which means like I've seen students um, having this sort of thoughts or mentality that, oh, I came to the United States, I paid so much of money, and I will just only do a job which pays me a lot of money, or which is like a high end company, which is like something very posh. I mean, they chase for something way bigger, and it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a very good thing to do, but keeping everything in mind that job market is really not good right at this moment. The a lot of experiences that we are experiencing this time is not really great. So I would say that having a job is itself a blessing, because at least you can have your foot on the ground.
Mm.
So I would say, like, be there, be consistent, so that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Because
Mm.
that way, like for me, I am not earning a lot of money, but at least I'm getting something in my bank account every month, through which I am slowly and steadily achieving what I'm supposed to, instead of like trying to get everything in like at one go. That's something that makes it harder for us to achieve things. So I would say slow and steady wins the race. So that's
Yeah,
something we need to.
amazing. I love it. Again, thank you, Zubi, for doing this, and thank you for being on the show.
My
I
pleasure.
can't wait to see what you do with what is there for you in the next chapter of your life. But we'll keep in touch and we'll bring you back on the show once you have
Of
more
course.
updates for us, and like we do something fun as well. So yeah, thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It was like a great experience. And, I always love to share my experience and help like any other students or any other like Desi people, as we all call it here.
Yeah.
I mean, we all are together and then, we all have our back. So
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you.
it always feels like, very good to help,
Yes.
our
100%.
fellow people.
100%. Amazing.